Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, and hello everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Education on Air on Computer Science Education Week. My name is Abby Bouchon Daniels. I'm joining in from sunny San Francisco today, and I'm so excited for the opportunity to get to talk with you all about Computer Science Education Week. I know, and thank you as well for the opportunity to be a part of this Education on Air series. There's been so many great sessions that have happened and are coming up, and I'm grateful to be here with you all. So I wanted to give you all a quick run of show of what we're going to be looking at today for the Education on Air. And I just want to let you all know I'll be watching the Q&A as well. So thank you, Anne-Marie, for saying can't wait for CSEdWeek. I'm seeing questions as well from Marta and Desiree, so I'll be jumping on those shortly. For folks that are requesting access to the slides, I will be sharing access afterwards. But do remember, because this is a recording, you can always stop and pause to get info as well. So thanks for everyone's patience with that. Today for this Education on Air, we're going to be starting out first and run through a couple quick facts on why computer science education is so important and so essential for this next generation of change makers. We're also going to be looking at CSEdWeek ideas and solutions, and then we're going to get to the really fun part, which is doing a 1-minute and 10-minute solutions and live demos. So what that's going to mean is that we are going to go and actually do some live demos of Hangouts of Education on Air, CSEdWeek solutions. So that way, if there are folks that might be procrastinating, like I did for CSEdWeek this year, we'll be able to get some fast wins on how to get involved with CSEdWeek. We're then going to talk quickly about resources and next steps if you want to continue to learn more about CS education, and then we'll be saving some time at the end for Q&A. So let's rock and roll. Great. So for folks tuning in, I think I want to just clarify before we start that computer science is a way to teach computers on how to think. This often involves giving them step-by-step instructions, which we call programming. And you're going to see a lot of those step-by-step instructions that come up today in some of our featured computer science activities from Google for CSEdWeek. So CS and computer science, which mean the same thing, so if you hear me say CS, I'm talking about computer science, is not technological literacy or keyboarding or typewriting. Those are all important skills, but digital literacy is not computer science. So just note that as we're talking about computer science today, we are talking about more along the lines of programming. The demand for computer science is soaring in the United States. I'm sure many of you all have heard that by 2020, we in the United States are going to have a need for over 1 million new computer science students to have graduated with a computer science degree and to go into the workforce. But according to code.org in 2015, we only graduated 42,800 computer scientists. So at this time, there are at this point in time in 2016, there's over 500,000 unfulfilled roles in computer science, and we only graduated almost 43,000 new majors. That's crazy. It's a huge discrepancy. In addition to that, only 40% of principals report having a computer science class in their school, and only 33 states in the United States have computer science counting for a high school requirement. So there's some big disparities here. However, not only do we have an issue of how many students are studying computer science, but what the background and the makeup of students studying computer science is a disparity as well. Specifically, only 18% of computer science degrees are going to women, and only 18% of computer science degrees combined are going to Black and Hispanic students. So we're seeing a bit of issues and disparities of what types of students are studying computer science. So Google and Gallup have actually done a couple different research studies around computer science education. access, perceptions, and some of the issues that we were talking about earlier to understand the landscape and why some of these problems are happening. A recent study called Women Who Choose CS, which can be found at this link in the lower right-hand corner, g.co/CSEDU research, found that it's important to show all students encouragement and exposure in computer science, but it's even more important for girls and women. It's one of the top factors that influences their decision to choose computer science as a major more recently. However, a most recent study that came out earlier this fall from Google and Gallup showed that boys are more than 1.5 times as likely to be told by educators that they would be good at computer science than a girl. So when we're thinking about what we can be doing to encourage the next generation of computer scientists, it's simple. We can be encouraging, but showing students of all different backgrounds that they are capable and great problem solvers and can be learning computer science too. And we also know that exposure is a huge part as well. You can't be what you can't see. When computer science is, when you go to the media and see that, I don't even know, if you see a certain person that doesn't look like you and that's all you see pursuing computer science in the media, or a geeky programmer, or the visuals you see on Silicon Valley, for instance, as a TV show, that might not encourage students that don't look like those actors and actresses to pursue computer science. So you'll see today in a lot of the coding activities that we're going to highlight that there's opportunities to show computer scientists from all different backgrounds. So if I can get a virtual drum roll, please. We are now going to jump into the 4 quick solutions from Google for Computer Science Education Week. And I do want to just point out before we jump into these slides that there are so many ways to get involved with Computer Science Education Week, but I wanted to highlight these 4 because of the fact from Google we made some of these with this research in mind. We wanted to make sure that the computer science efforts were inclusive, were accessible, and they were inspiring students to be creative as well. So with that in mind, we are going to jump into our first activity. And if you guys will actually just give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to grab my quick note page for this next slide. And for folks that are just tuning in as well and watching on the Q&A session, that we are getting people asking about materials. Yes, and thank you, Dina, for answering that question. The slides will be available at the end, but for now, remember, you can always pause the EDU on air as well to watch along and to grab slide information. So for our first feature for CSEdWeek solutions in 10 minutes or less, this is perfect for the busy educator, parent, or even someone like me that might just want to be exploring computer science for the first time. With CSEdWeek starting this Monday, you know that this is a great way to just start to learn computer science quickly and share it out. So the 2 activities I wanted to show for you all today are teaching holiday elves how to boogie and then coding a new holiday emoji. Both of these activities are great for introductory computer science. This can be your first time trying computer science as a student of all ages. So we're going to do a demo of the code boogie in just a minute, but I also want to talk a little bit about the Made with Code activity. Both of these activities are using block-based programming to do drag and drop computer science. And what this means is that it looks like a little visual block of code that can perhaps be a little bit easier to understand and recognize for a new learner, but then still be able to teach some of those step-by-step computer science theories that we were discussing earlier. So with Made with Codes, you're actually going to use an X and Y axes to drag different characteristics. So for instance, if you want to add a reindeer nose, like the emoji in the middle, you can drag it down and make sure on the X and Y axes that it's going to the right spot, or you can expand the nose's size, things like that. And then for Santa Tracker, it also uses this drag and drop programming, and we're actually going to do a quick example of that. So this is a fun little video where you can actually see how as a student learning computer science drags one of these block-based code down, it says if you drag this piece of code that says to point the elf to do a handout to the left, then the elf will put the handout to the left, to the right, to the right, to the step to the right. So I actually went through, I was playing with it earlier and was actually able to even do the Cupid shuffle on here. So, slide to the left, slide to the right. You all know it. So it's a great way to show students that when you're not just typing, you get to see the output, and you get to see the creativity that comes out of computer science. You also recognize that it shows students that they can be so creative and make their own fun variations using computer science. I do want to emphasize, though, when you look at these blocks over here, I'm using my mouse right now. I think folks should be able to see it. When you look over on the point to the left, this is tying to real code. Even though it looks like a block, or it might even look kind of fun or like a game, it is tying into real computer science theories. And you'll see that a little bit more when we look at our 1-hour activities coming up. So I'm going to pause really quickly and see if I can answer any questions specific to Santa Tracker or to Code Boogie, or Santa Tracker's Code Boogie or Made with Codes. And while I do that, I'm going to jump back one slide for the CSEdWeek solutions in 10 minutes or less. So I'm going to do a quick scroll through. Great, getting some questions. Let's see. I got a comment from Elizabeth Moore. Santa Tracker reminds me a lot of the dancing coconut people at the end of the code.org Moana Hour of Code tutorial. Elizabeth, I haven't tried the Disney Hour of Code activity yet for Moana, but it looks like so much fun. So thanks for highlighting that. Yeah, this idea of I feel like everybody likes to dance, let's be honest, but then being able to incorporate computer science into it might even make these introductory computer science activities a little bit more accessible to students that may have not considered themselves interested in computer science before. So I think that's a great point. Great. Any other questions about these 10-minute solutions? All right. And remember that some of these 10-minute solutions can also lead into a 1-hour activity. This is just purely a great opportunity to start exploring computer science today, right now. All you need is access to the internet and a computer to help start creating new creative activities with computer science this CSEdWeek. And these can be started on today. You don't even have to wait till Monday. So we're now going to jump into 2 featured 1-hour activities for Computer Science Education Week. The 2 we're going to be looking at today is an hour of code activity, which I'm seeing on the comments right now, and then a computational thinking activity as well from Careers with Code. So I'm going to flip the order here and talk about Careers with Code first, and then we're going to do a live demo of the hour of code activity. So Careers with Code is a free computer science careers magazine from Google. This magazine, from Google and Refraction Media, excuse me. This magazine was created to show students diverse and unique paths into becoming a computer scientist, and also how you can use computer science to solve real-world problems in your community. So the entire magazine is shown around, it's focused on this idea of computer science plus X. How can you use computer science to intersect with the passions of your life? So for instance, I am very interested in health technology and how, how to make the world a better place by helping people be their very best and to be healthy. So if I was to go into this magazine, I can actually see features of how people are using computer science to solve, to help find cancerous cells faster on, therefore to become more proactive in detecting early stage cancer. Or there's a feature on Medic Mobile as well, which is a mobile-based simple app that helps community health workers all around the world learn and share information. And computer science is powering that. So it shows students that computer science can be used in many different fields. This year, for Computer Science Education Week now, we actually debuted a new educator guide that you can see in this lower right-hand corner. Let me see if I can highlight it. Nope. All right, so it's down here, the user manual how-to guide. So if you check this out, this is a free guide on how to use Careers with Code in the classroom. This guide is perfect for educators that may not have a background in computer science, but want to be exploring ideas of computational thinking, and this idea that you can use computer science to solve problems in your community. So please check out these links. Go check out the Careers with Code Educator Guide, and you can use it with the free magazine, which is available on careerswithcode.com. You can also order hard copies online at careerswithcode.com as well. All right, and then when we jump over to an hour of code activity, I want to talk really quickly about Hour of Code. Hour of Code is a fantastic global initiative that was spearheaded by code.org and features, golly, at this point it must be hundreds of introductory Hour of Code activities. These activities are all designed to be an easy, fast, and inclusive way for students to start exploring perhaps their first hour of writing code in their lives. And again, these can be for students of all ages. So I'm going to share a link at the end to check out all of the Hour of Code activities, but I really wanted to feature this one specific activity from Gumball's Coding Adventure. How many of you all out there are watching Cartoon Network or have heard of The Amazing World of Gumball? Maybe a couple. It's a great show that's online, or I think it's actually going to be live later today on Cartoon Network. And this entire opportunity came out from the fact that the episode on The Amazing World of Gumball was actually watching two of the characters go through a glitch in the system. So the episode is called The Signal, and the characters experience a technical glitch. And we're actually had the opportunity, our CS First team was able to work with the producers at Cartoon Network to show students how they could code with that glitch in a live Hour of Code activity. So this activity, again, you just need access to a computer and the internet. And this is also a great activity for students as they get into, I don't know, just around 8th grade. But it also comes with an educator guide, and it's all video-based. So it's a great opportunity to teach students about computer science. But again, you do not have to be a computer scientist to teach it because they've got such great guides. So with that in mind, we're actually going to go do a live demo of this one. And we're going to hop over now. So if you guys stick with me, I'm going to stop presenting and switch screens. All right. So the way, let me just point out real quick, the way I'm getting to this site right here is that I went over to this user manual, the educator user manual, csfirst.com/HOC, Hour of Code 16T. And that brings me to this site right here. For CS First Hour of Code activity, they have lesson plans. They've got the instructional video for the student that shows them the step-by-step, and opportunity to create a club if you want to continue to teach computer science locally. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into a sample student project, and I want to show you all a little bit more about this drag and drop programming. So can everybody see my screen right now? Are you all seeing, hopefully, you can kind of see a banana and some kind of fun things over here, and then Molly the sprite. I'm going to check the comments real quick and see if anybody says you can't see anything. All right, I think the screen made it, so that's always encouraging. So the way this works for Hour of Code is that you might get to this screen right here and say, oh, I don't know where to go, I don't know where to start. But remember, with the teacher guide, there's an instructional video that shows students step-by-step what they need to be doing to get to this point. And there's a lesson plan for teachers to be able to talk through to this point as well. So you wouldn't just get here and say, oh golly, what's next? But they've actually pre-created some code that we're going to run right now. So be watching this screen right here while we run. So I click play, and we're going to watch these two sprites follow through this code right here. So you see what just happened is they ran the glitch code. And you can see that Molly, the sprite, is glitching. She doesn't know what's going on. She's popping in and out from different scenes. But behind the scenes, we know exactly what's happening. We're able to change some of this, this code to make it happen exactly how we want. So instead of Carmen, let's just say I'm gonna change it to Abby, because Abby's my name, and then say, you can't believe what's happening. Let's say it's almost CSEdWeek. And then if I wanted to drag and drop some new code, let's say I'm going to turn it 15 degrees. I can actually drag this and drop it into the code right here. And let's say we could also change it to maybe Darwin. Would that work? No, I think we're going to stay over on Molly. So when this flag is clicked, it's going to show the name Abby for 2 seconds. Say, you won't believe it's happening. It's almost CSEdWeek for 2 seconds. Turn 15 degrees, and then the glitch is going to happen. Let's see if it works. It's almost CSEdWeek. Look at that. What's happening? You saw they both turned 15 degrees. So we could try it again and bring it to 90 degrees. This is probably going to look a little silly, but let's see. Abby, what's up? It's almost CSEdWeek. And then they turn 90 degrees and go. So this is just scratching the surface on what you can do here. There's so many more opportunities. You can add sounds, change the backgrounds. You can even create your own sprite. But what's so cool about this is that this is storytelling relating to a live television show right now on Cartoon Network. So what a great way for students that might be already watching Cartoon Network's Amazing World of Gumball to learn about the computer science and kind of be able to engage with that TV show in such a different way. So huge kudos go to the CS First team for being able to build this, and then for Hour of Code as well for having an opportunity to be able to showcase this type of creativity. So I'm going to go back and present for just a second longer, and we're going to close up with talking about a couple fun resources you can check out to explore computer science all year long. So at Google, we have an entire website. It's g.co/CSEdUlearning, where you can see dozens of resources around computer science for students that might be wanting to just explore their first hour of computer science, the first few minutes, to opportunities for high school classes, and even ultimately along to technical guides for how to become prepared to become a computer scientist. So all across the pipeline. Code.org is also doing a great job at showing resources beyond the Hour of Code. So we're actually going to click on that link real quick and go on over. So beyond an Hour of Code for teachers, you could actually click here and learn about different opportunities to teach other courses. And then here is a full list as well of those Hour of Code tutorials. And here is the Moana activity that was mentioned earlier by Elizabeth as well. You can see there's 171 results. So again, if the, and here's the Gumball's activity. So if Gumball isn't a fit for you, or perhaps you want to try something else, there's a bunch of activities here as well. This is all under code.org. But for CSEdWeek, I would encourage folks to get involved with the discussion, follow the hashtags, and tweet with the hashtags CSEdWeek, CSforAll, and Hour of Code. It's going to be a great computer science education week, and I hope that these resources are helpful to help you and your students learn more about computer science education and begin that coding journey. So thank you all so much. I'm going to stay live right now. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen for a minute, jump over and say hi with my, I know I've been hiding behind the scenes, but want to say hello to everybody here. And then I'm actually going to turn on over to the Q&A, and we'll see what we can answer live right now. So, and I'll be on for 5 more minutes, so stick with me. All right, so yes, I'll be sharing resources, the slides, right after I log off. I don't want to bother you guys with clicking out live. Anthony had a great comment. Is it just me, or has computer science become more fun for learners of all ages this year? As an educator, I've never had more fun watching or teaching my K through 6th grade students computer science than in 2016. They just love learning this way. Anthony, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's so exciting that there's so many organizations that are using computer science to show how creative it can be and how much fun and it's inclusive. I don't know about you, but I remember when I was learning my introductory programming classes in college, all we did was play chess and poker with the computer. We had to teach a computer how to play these games virtually. And that wasn't terribly interesting to me. But learning how to tell stories using computer science or teaching an elf to dance, while those might be introductory, they do show that computer science can be so creative and so fun. So I can't agree that more. Brennan asked a question about what is the statistic regarding how many computer science will be needed by the workforce and how many are being produced. So Brennan, I'll type that one out for you as well. I'll reply after this is over. But the statistic is that by 2020, we are going to have over 1 million unfulfilled jobs that need computer science related skills to succeed. And that's in the US economy only. And at this point, we are only graduating between 40 to 45,000 graduates a year. So we're having a huge disparity of by 2020, how many computer scientists we're going to need and how many we're graduating year over year. Let's see. What other questions do we have coming in right now? We've got, how can I show the actual code behind all the blocks? This is so important. Kansas City Creators Club, that's a great question. It varies for each activity, but if you were to, for instance, do the Santa Tracker activity, there's a button on the bottom where it says show the code, and it clicks on that and shows it. So a lot of the activities do have an opportunity where you can flip it and kind of see behind the scenes. Is Gumball through Scratch? Yes, Scratch is the name of one of the block-based programming languages. So it is don't let the name Scratch or Blockly or any of that, if it's confusing, don't worry about it. Just remember it's part of the Blockly, it's part of the drag and drop based programming language. That's hard to say fast. All right. So I got one more question that just came in from Jane. Scratch seems really powerful, but is it appropriate for K through 5 students? Scratch can be used for K through 5, but actually with 30 seconds remaining, I'm going to jump over to the Hour of Code website, and we're going to look at some of the filters for K through 5. So just stick with me for just a minute. All right, you guys should be able to see my screen right now. If we went to, if you want to see other activities that are grades 2 through 5 and might be using, let's see, a block-based programming language, you can filter these out right here. And you can see activities that are specifically designed for younger grades. So please check that out. When it comes to parental permission, yes, absolutely. We always want to make sure that parents know that activities can be done. But I do believe a lot of these activities do not require a login. So I don't believe they are asking for user information, especially for students under 18. Of course, please check first before you introduce it to a student. Great. I can't believe half an hour has already gone by, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have been able to chat with you all today about CSEdWeek. I will be trying out a couple hours of code next week on behalf and along with my friends at Google. So thank you all so much for the opportunity to chat with you all. Happy EDU on Air and happy almost CSEdWeek. So thanks again, everyone. I'll be sharing those slides shortly and enjoy CSEdWeek coming up. Thanks. Bye-bye.